We have campaigned for almost 50 years in the deaths of our loved ones who were murdered in Ballymurphy in August 1971. And the coroner had declared all our loved ones entirely innocent, in her words. It's been a long, hard campaign. We got justice today when our loved ones, instead of being classed as gunmen and gunwomen, which has been the official verdict for over 50 years, now they're all declared innocent. So it's a fantastic day for the families.
And Podrick, as well, for all of the families, a fantastic day for the families, as John says, but this campaign in protesting for the innocence of the victims has really been a very long, drawn-out process, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, it's been a very long journey for the families. They've waited 50 years for the first evidence-based report into what happened in Ballymurphy in August 1971. We had inquests in 1972, which were deeply flawed. We had no police investigation. There was a historical inquiries team review a decade ago, which was equally flawed. So this is the first time that the British government have been held to account in a court of law in nearly 50 years. That's a sad thing. It's a bittersweet day, I suppose. But finally, the families have their loved ones' names exonerated today.
And John, did you feel that the verdict in this, did you feel that the comments, it went far enough?
I was extremely happy about the comments of the coroner. She went as far as she could go. You have to remember that it's a coroner's court, it's not a criminal court. That's as far as she can go. It was unjustified force that was used in the murder of all our loved ones, and she declared them all innocent. I'm happy with that, and like I say, it's limited with a coroner's court of how far they can go.
And Podrick, today the British government confirmed plans to introduce legislation it says will address legacy issues related to prosecutions in Northern Ireland. Now, it can mean that the soldiers involved in carrying out these acts will receive an amnesty. So how do you progress if they push ahead with this legislation?
Well, the first thing I'd want to say is that that's a disgraceful derogation of their obligations under domestic and international human rights law. But unfortunately, it's entirely consistent with the British government's approach to these families. They've treated them with contempt for 50 years. And the families would argue that there's been a de facto amnesty in place throughout the course of this conflict in any event. That doesn't make it any less disgraceful, nonetheless, today, and insensitive to do it on this momentous day for the families. The families will have to review. I haven't had an opportunity, given we've been very busy today, to look at the detail of the Queen's speech, but we'll be looking at that in the coming days, and it may be the families find themselves in a legal challenge to that in the days and weeks ahead.
And Podrick, the Irish government has already called this potential ban on prosecutions as deeply alarming. What action can Dublin take to help?
Well, Dublin, I think, it's limited whether or not Boris Johnson and this current British government will listen to the Irish government remains to be seen. But I think it's incumbent on the Irish government to put pressure internationally, maybe via the United States government as well and other parties in Europe and throughout the world. So they can do that. It's another matter whether this Tory government will listen or not. They seem more preoccupied with the ex-veterans community and the right-wing media. And, it's no accident to think that you had elections just in the last few days, and I think they've been playing to that gallery. So it remains to be seen whether they will listen to any of those voices of reason on the outside, and that'll become clear in the next few weeks.